And now we're discarding yet another supporter card with our research. And we can't do it. Oh, we actually can. Oh, thank God. Thank God for retrieval. Can't believe I did that. Okay, we hold it. Now all we need to do is hope that they don't have any switch cards, air balloons, battle sense for those cards, or another welder Charizard in their hand. All they need is a welder Charizard really. Here that was close. Now we just need to evolve and get out our energy. Oh, that's good. Because we could have gotten a rod. We have a rod and 2 energies in our deck. So we got 4 here. So Heavy Hole actually knocks it out for 3 price cards. Oh, that's close. They should have retreated just now. If they boss order knock out our Cherrim, we are done for. We get to Sonia for energy, so that's why Sonia is so good. It not only allows you to set up in the early game, if it doesn't show up in the first 2 turns, then you get to use it for energy cards. So it's actually better to have like 4 Sonias in your deck, but I prefer to have just 3, because you won't be using all 3s for setup anyways. That's all, I suppose. Let's just attach that to that one. Whatever. 2 is enough to knock out a Snorlax. Unless they heal with Mellow and Lana. Oh, they actually evolve. Oh wow. Did not see that coming. If you're normally if I see a Snorlax V with all of those loose cards, I was actually, oh, they evolve, meaning they remove the effect. Oh dear. Hello everybody, welcome to Beware the Terrible. So today we have a new deck in the standard format for you called the Flower of Destiny. So in Flower of Destiny we have our Cherrim card from Battle Styles with a Spring Bloom ability allowing you to attach a grass energy from your hand to any one of your Pokemon that does not have a rule box on it as often as you like during your turn. So you get to attach grass energy freely to your non-Pokemon GX, non-Pokemon Vs, and non-Prism Star Pokemons. Prism Star is also a Pokemon with a rule box because Prism Star rule means you don't get to have more than 1 Prism Star Pokemon with the same name on it in the same deck. So for example, Tapu Koko Prism Star, you only get to have 1 Tapu Koko Prism Star per deck. So we are pairing that Spring Bloom ability with our Urshifu's Sidekick. Urshifu's Sidekick allows you to do 120 damage for 4 energy costs. So Heavy Hold prevents your opponent's active Pokemon from attacking on their next turn. So the defending Pokemon can't attack during your opponent's next turn. That is the effect of Heavy Hold for 4 energy cost. So Ursaring is our stronghold Pokemon that allows us to buffer our opponent's active Pokemon to restrict them from attacking on their next turn. So that means they are forced to either retreat their Pokemon or to find their switch cards, escape rope, bird keepers, what have you, to remove and erase that effect so that they can attack once more. Otherwise they can't do anything and they are forced to pass the turn. So it actually does a lot. It forces them to find their way around the effect because otherwise they are held, their Pokemon can't attack. So it's kind of the same as Bubble Hold, except it works for any Pokemon. So Bubble Hold only works if your opponent's active Pokemon is a basic Pokemon. So basic Pokemon, their active basic Pokemon cannot attack during their next turn. Whereas Heavy Hold, the defending Pokemon can attack during your opponent's next turn. So it prevents them from attacking whatever Pokemon they have on their active spot. It cannot attack on the next turn. That is a lot. Is a huge it's a huge restriction for them. So obviously they can retreat, they can use air balloon, they can retreat if they have no retreat cost, if they use Pokemon's ability to switch their Pokemons, or if they have a lot of switch cards in their deck, then this attack is not that good, but it actually forces them to waste those switch cards because you get to use heavy hold turn after turn. And obviously Ursaring is only 140 HP, it gets knocked out easily, but in the event that your opponent does not find the switch cards, does not find those switch cards in time, you get to hold them for one turn. You get to prevent them from attacking for 1 or 2 turns or even more throughout the entire game. Obviously you get to hold them for more than 2 turns throughout the entire game because we are planning on using this attack throughout the entire game, guys. So that means we are using heavy hold after heavy hold after heavy hold, and they are gonna have to use up all of their switch cards until they can't switch anymore, until they can do nothing but pass the turn. So obviously we need to have a lot of Ursarings in this deck. We need to have a lot of energies to charge up those Ursarings because we are planning on using heavy hold after heavy hold after heavy hold. And we are using a lot of Stealthy Hoods as well because Stealthy Hood protects your Ursaring from Arctozolt Cursula. Arctozolt Cursula damages your places damage counter on your Ursaring for each energy card that you attach from your hand to your Ursaring. So we are attaching with our Spring Bloom ability, we are attaching from our hand. That means Arctozolt gets to damage your Ursaring very heavily. If you attach it from your hand, if you attach 4 energy cards to do your heavy hold, you have to damage your Ursaring by a lot. If they have 2 Arctozolts, you cannot attack because 2 Arctozolts damages it by 4 damage counters for each energy. That means it's gonna be damaged by 16 damage counters. It's gonna be damaged by 160 damage for 4 energy cards that you attach to it. So 2 Arctozolt alone is enough to prevent you from attacking with your Ursaring. So we can't have that. And if they have a Cursula V in their active spot, that's even worse. So that's why Stealthy Hood is important in this deck, because it protects you not only from Arctozolt Cursula V, it also protects you from Galarian Zigzagoon Blowaway Bomb, it protects you from Detention Gas, all types of energy, all types of abilities, even Whippin' Bell. Whippin' Bell with the Dangerous Mucus ability that burns and poisons your Ursaring or any other Pokemon that is in your active spot. It affects you with special conditions as Whippin' Bell as they evolve their Whippin' Bell onto their Bellsprout. So that ability does not work if you have a Stealthy Hood attached to your active Pokemon. So Stealthy Hood is super important in this deck. I cannot explain enough. Stealthy Hood is super important. So we also have Boss's Order, because Boss's Order allows you to force your opponent to drag out their attacking Pokemon. So the Pokemon that they are planning to attack with, you essentially drag that Pokemon out into the active spot and hold it. If you are holding that Pokemon, then they are forced to do a double switch to erase the effect and to be able to attack on the same turn. They are forced to do a switch retreat or a retreat switch, essentially a double switch. Otherwise they cannot attack. So if they only do a single switch, then they can't attack as well. So dragging it out actually does a lot. That's why we have 2 Boss's Order in this deck. We also have a lot of Capture Energies in this deck. Capture Energy, Sonia, and Quick Ball. We have 3 of each of those cards because we need to set up very quickly. We need to set up a lot of our bench Pokemon. We need at least 2 Teddiursas and 2 Cherubis at the very start of the game at our first turn if possible, because that allows us to evolve our Cherim. That allows us to prepare for our stage 1 Pokemons, because we are playing a lot of stage 1 Pokemons. Ursaring and Cherim are both stage 1 Pokemon. So not only do we have to think about our first Ursaring, we have to think about our second one as well. We have to prepare a few Teddiursas on our bench spot for the next turn as well. If it gets knocked out, then we only have to send out a Teddiursa, evolve, and use Spring Bloom. Immediately we get to attack with Heavy Hold after evolving. So that's how powerful Spring Bloom is. Before the release of this card, essentially Ursaring is useless, because Ursaring has 4 energy attack costs. 4 energy attack cost is basically impossible to charge within 1 turn. You cannot charge a 4 energy attack cost within 1 turn. You cannot hit within 1 turn because you, even with a welder, it's not possible unless you have turbo patches before evolving. Turbo patch, you need to flip a lot of coins. Rotom allows you to attach from a discard pile, but that is an attack. It's not an ability. So there's not many abilities that allows you to attach energy cards from a discard pile or from your deck or from your hand to your Pokemon. Hydreigon allows you to attach dark type energy from your hand to any of your Pokemon. It does not have the rule box restriction. So Cherrim has the rule box restriction. So it's these two Pokemons are the freest. So Hydreigon and Cherrim are basically the ability that are the strongest. The strongest ability that allows you to attach energy freely from your hand. Whereas Frostmoth and Electrode only works for those type Pokemons. So Frostmoth only allows you to attach water type energy from your hand to your water type bench Pokemons. So it's only for water type Pokemons. Whereas for Cherrim and Hydreigon is for any type Pokemons. But for Cherrim obviously is for non-rule box Pokemons. Hydreigon is for any Pokemons. Frostmoth only water type Pokemons, only bench Pokemons. A huge restriction for Frostmoth. And Buzzep Generator only to your lightning type Pokemons. Buzzep Generator also to your bench Pokemon only, if I'm not mistaken. So that's essentially the energy attachment abilities. Let's go on with the supporter cards. So supporter cards, we have Brunos, we have Bird Keepers, we have Marnies, and we have Professor's Research. The numbers, as you can see, are as follows. So we have Bird Keepers in this deck is because we need to switch out our Pokemons if we need to switch it out because it's affected by a special condition, or if it cannot attack, or for some reason we can't attack or something, then we need to switch it out to another Ursaring or to a Cherrim. Sometimes we need to attack with a Seed Bomb because Seed Bomb does 70 damage and sometimes that's enough to knock out their Pokemon. So Seed Bomb, for example, if you are playing a Mad Party, if they are playing Mad Party deck, then Seed Bomb actually does a knockout. So Seed Bomb 3 energy cost is basically 0 energy cost because we are using Spring Bloom to attach energy freely to our Pokemon. So Seed Bomb is essentially 0 energy cost. But with our Spring Bloom, the main problem, the main issue is getting out those energy cards. Frostmoth is easy because you get to use Capacious Buckets. Capacious Buckets allows you to summon 2 energy cards for an item. Capacious Buckets is an item card. Professor's Ladder is only allowed in the expanded format. Professor's Ladder is no longer allowed in standard format. We only have Energy Spinners and Energy Surges for the standard format, and Viridian Forest. Those cards only allow you to summon 1 energy card. So how do we summon our energy cards fast enough? We are not having a lot of those Energy Surges and Energy Spinners or even Viridian Forest in this deck. We are relying on a huge amount of draws to be able to summon those energy cards. So how do we increase our draw capacity? We increase it with Dedenne GXs with good supporter cards. So good supporter cards like Marnie allows you to draw a whopping 5 cards into your hand and put those cards that you have already used up, that you can't use anymore, you put them at the bottom of your deck and you draw a fresh new set of cards. You draw 5 cards that is brand new. Whereas with Bruno or Cynthia obviously is not allowed in the standard format, but Bruno, you have to shuffle your hand and you might draw back the same cards. And also Bruno allows you to only draw 4 cards if you have no knockouts. If your opponent did not knock out your any one of your Pokemon during your last turn, then you don't get to draw 7, you only draw 4. If your opponent knocks out any one of your Pokemon during their last turn, then you get to draw 7 cards after shuffling your hand into your deck. So shuffling your hand into your deck might be a good thing because we might actually save our Pokemon cards, our supporter cards. If we research or Dedenne, we might actually waste those supporter cards or cards that we need. So that's why we have a lot of rods and energy retrieval, because those cards actually allows us to save those cards that we discard by force. Because Dedenne GX and Professor's Research, although it allows you to increase your draw capacity, it also forces you to discard those cards that you need, that you might need to save for later, because some cards you might need later on. later on in the game, but not now. So discarding them is actually a bad thing, but we have cards to save them, so we don't need to worry about that. We have our rods, we have our energy retrievals. We don't have paw pads, but we have enough supporter cards, so we don't need to worry about discarding them. But we might discard too much of them. That's why we have Dedenne GXs. We have 3 Dedenne GXs. That means if we discard too many supporter cards, we can use Dedenne to draw them out. So we don't have to worry about that, because as long as you have 10 or 9 supporter cards in your deck, you're good to go. For standard format, that is enough. For expanded, you need more, and I'll explain next time why you need more for this for expanded format. So for standard format, you only need up to 12 draw cards. So 12 cards is enough to help you draw. So those 12 include Dedenne GXs and Crobat Vs and any Pokemon cards that allows you to draw a lot. So Pokemon that allows you to draw a lot, for example, Silvally GX, Chinchino, you need a lot of Chinchinos and Pidgeotos if you're planning on using those cards. Then obviously if you're planning on using those cards, because those cards are allows you to draw cards per turn, every turn, that means you don't need a lot of supporter cards anymore. So it really depends on what type of Pokemon abilities you're using. But if you're using only one per turn, if you're only a once per turn ability, an ability that only works once, then it's better to have 12 of those cards. So 12 in any combination of Pokemon with abilities that allows you to draw cards and supporter cards. So 12 is enough, but 13 is better. We have only 12 in this deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep, 12. But we also have Quick Balls to summon our Dedenne, so that's actually more than 12 already. So we also have 17 energy cards in this deck, because 17 allows us to draw out those energy cards, because Cherrim is actually a difficult card to play, because if you don't have enough energy cards in your deck, you can't draw out those cards in time for you to attack very fast in the game, because we want to be able to attack within the second turn in our game, because that allows us a huge advantage over our opponent. So that means we need to be able to attack by our second turn, and to do that, we need to be able to draw out energy cards fast enough. 4 energy cards or even more, because we might need to retreat our Pokemons, and we only have Bird Keeper, which is a supporter card to retreat our Pokemon. So we can't rely on Bird Keeper to retreat. Sometimes we may need to retreat our Teddiursas or our Cherabis, which is only 1 energy attack, 1 energy retreat cost, so it's not a lot, but that might mean we need 5 energies. So we need to draw at as much as 5 or 6 energies for us to be able to do our heavy hold, so on our second or our third turn. So that is a lot of energy cards. It might not be a lot at first thought, but when you play the game, you realize that you need a lot of energy cards to be able to draw them out. Because if you use Marnie or Professor's Research, you're only drawing 5 or 7 cards. That's not a lot, guys. Out of 40 something cards left in your deck, 7 or 5 cards is not very likely you're drawing energy cards, unless you have at least 20 energy cards in your deck. 20 is a good number of energy cards if you're playing Spring Bloom. But obviously a lot of people likes to play item cards. It's better to have energy searchers, energy spinners, and energy recyclers to put them back and summon them easily, rather than having a lot of energy cards sometimes. But for me, I prefer to have more energy cards than those item cards, because those item cards are actually bulky. You know, I prefer to actually draw out those energy cards than to draw out item cards, which allows you to summon those energy cards. It's better for me to save spaces for remove those item cards and replace them with energy cards, because energy is more important. They might use a Fossil Bind, they might use a Frozen Lock on you, so those item cards will be basically useless, destroyed if they do that. And item cards is actually annoying because, well, it's only one. You know, if it's Capacious Buckets, then it actually does something. If you have a lot of energy spinners or energy searchers in your deck, it's essentially the same as having a lot of energy cards. So if I replace, for example, if I replace 4 Leaf Grass energy from this deck with 4 energy spinners, I essentially would have 13 energies left in my deck. So it's essentially the same thing, because if you draw out Energy Spinner, it will be replaced as an energy card. So the bad thing though, if you have a lot of item cards, the bad thing is they can frozen lock you, and also the bad thing is you don't get to recycle those energy cards. Whereas with energy, you don't get to recycle those item cards. Whereas if you have energy cards, if you have a bulk number of energy cards, then you don't have to worry about them ending up in your prize card. You don't have to worry about them not showing up. Well, you don't have to worry about recycling them, you know. Whereas you can't recycle those item cards. Energy Search, Energy Spinner, you can't recycle those cards. After using it once, you can't recycle them. So that's what I'm trying to say. But obviously, you don't need to recycle them after you use it, because it actually, it actually thins out your deck. Sometimes it's a good thing to thin out your deck. So item cards is it's an advantage in that sense, because item cards allows you to thin out your hand and your deck very fast. So it's good in that sense. So sometimes it's just a personal preference. For me, I prefer to have more energy than item cards. I don't know, I just like the look of it. You know, 17 energy cards, it looks safe. It just have a very safe look about it. So that's all for the deck. I don't want to go on too long. It's already 18 minutes. So Evolution Incense, we have 4 Evolution Incense and 1 Pokemon Communication, because we need to summon our our stage 1 Pokemons as fast as possible, because we are playing 2 stage 1 Pokemons. Ursaring and Cherrim are both stage 1. So we need to think about evolving them as fast as we can, and as many times as many of them as we can, because we do need to worry about Cherrim getting knocked out, because Cherrim gets knocked out very easily. They're gonna target our Cherrim, because you know, we are basically charging up. We are without Cherim, we can't do anything. So we are relying heavily on our Cherim's ability. So they are gonna target our Cherim. We're gonna have to prepare for our next Cherim. We're gonna have to prepare at least 2 or 3 Cherubis in our bench. 2 is enough, but sometimes you need 3. You don't know. You never know. So 2 is enough. It's better to have 2 Cherubis and 2 Teddiursas at the first few turns within the game. First or second turn, you need to have 2 Teddiursas and 2 Cherubis. So that's why we have a lot of setup cards. And we have 1 energy retrieval and 2 ordinary rods to shuffle those energy cards back. I don't have energy recyclers in this deck. I switched it for energy retrieval, because energy retrieval, immediately you get to place it into your hand and use your ability and you're good to go. So energy recycler, you're gonna have to worry about drawing them back out once more. So I don't like that. So there was once where I used energy recycler and I couldn't draw them back out because I discarded all of my supporter cards, and I end up having only 3 item cards in my hand with the energy recycler, and I can't charge up my Ursaring because energy recycler does not allow you to put it into your hand. And I only need 2 energy left on my Ursaring. So if I had an energy retrieval, that would have been enough. Because you have 17 energy cards in this deck, you don't need to recycle that many. You know, 17 is enough for you to do 3 Ursarings, to charge up 3 Ursarings, and that is enough. If you have a rod, if you have 2 rods and an energy retrieval, that's enough to charge up 4 Ursarings, and that's good enough. We don't need more than that, because you know, we are actually forcing them to not be able to attack as well with Heavy Hold. So that is enough. Heavy Hold actually prevents them from attacking your Ursaring. So if they can't attack it, they can't knock it out. So unless, of course, they erase the effect with retreats and switches, then you're gonna have to worry about something. And they can also remove effects with their Channeler. So Channeler allows them to remove all effects on their Pokemon by your Pokemon or by their own Pokemon. So remove all effects on your Pokemon. That's what Channeler does. Channeler is a supporter card. So let's go to gameplay. I don't want to go on too long. So today's music, let's go to the music for today. Today we are featuring fantasy style music. So fantasy style music from a lot of different channels. No copyright music, one of the channel. Media Charger, royalty free music, FEM, free extreme music, record, no copyright. Let's go to the top ones. Sorry, this one is from The Alien Wolf. So not this one. The previous one, one of the previous one is from The Alien Wolf. The Alien Wolf is a really good channel. I love their music. Go check out their channel. They feature really good music. So fantasy music is one of their genres, but obviously they have more genres, I think. This one is from Media Charger. This is Ye Old Tavern music from Media Charger and a bunch of other channels as well. I've created a playlist. So today's music is, you know, fantasy style music. So let's go ahead for gameplay with our Flower of Destiny deck. So we are featuring Urshifu's sidekick, Ursaring. So before Cherrim got released, Ursaring was actually a pretty difficult card to make a deck out of because you need welders, you know, and even welder is not fast enough to charge it up. Welder obviously only allows you to charge up to 3 energy cards on your Ursaring, which is not enough to do your heavy hold within 1 turn. So you can't charge it fast enough on the same turn that you evolve your Ursaring to be able to do your heavy hold. But with your Cherim, with your Spring Bloom, you get to do it within 1 turn. So that's fast, and we need to be fast because heavy hold only does very little damage. It only does, sorry about that, it only does 120 damage for 4 energy costs. So we are essentially making use of its effect. We are focusing more on its effect and not its damage. We are not, you know, we are not relying on its damage. We are only relying on its effect. So trying to get more Cherims out, but no Cherim. I mean Cherubi, my bad. So they don't have rare candy. That's actually a good thing. If they rare candy evolve into the Charizard, that's actually a scary, really scary thing. So I'm just gonna be optimistic and attach to that one. Might be better to wait for a capture and attach, but I think that's our first capture. So we got a Cherim but no Didines. That's bad. And no Cherubis. That spot was actually for Cherubi, but I just placed another Teddy Ursa. My bad. But oh well, we get to Bird Keeper or Research the next turn. I'm gonna use a Research. If we had an Ursaring, then we could have Soniat for 2 more energies, but we actually need a lot more energy. So they have their Charizard now. We need a lot of cards. Any Leons? No Leons yet. Battle Sands now. No Jirachis. So Charizard deck with level balls. A lot of level balls. Level ball allows them to use for Charmeleon. I see. So they are playing a Charizard level ball deck. Funny. Let's get another Cherubi. I'm not sure if I should use that for a Didine or a Cherubi. We've already discarded way too many. I'm not sure why we've discarded our Bruno or how we did that with a Didine. So let's just get a Cherubi with our Quick Ball. So Didine discarded quite a lot of our supporter cards. And now we're discarding yet another supporter card with our Research. And we can't do it. Oh, we actually can. Oh, thank God. Thank God for a retrieval. They can't Yeah, Charizards can't retreat because Charizards are 3 energy retreat cost. They're gonna need Air Balloon to be able to and waste an energy card. And they're gonna need a Welder to charge their second Charizard. Or they need 2 switches. All they need is 2 switches actually. I'm just gonna attach that one to something. Not sure if I should have. Oh shit, I forgot to evolve that one. Oh, thank God we have another Ursaring. I just evolved the wrong one. Can't believe I did that. Okay, we hold it. Now all we need to do is hope that they don't have any switch cards, air balloons, battle sense for those cards, or another Welder Charizard in their hand. All they need is a Welder Charizard really. Yeah, they do need a lot of energies though to be able to get through that turn. We will save that for a Pokecom. We do have a Pokecom in this deck. One Pokecom. Not sure if it's discarded though. Okay, we get to knock it out. Hopefully get a supporter card. We are emptied out. Our hand is empty. Zeroed hand. Okay, no supporter card. Come on, supporter card. Charizard's gonna knock us out. No Charizard please. Oh, thank God. So level ball is not a good. It's not. Oh, we got a research. That's good. We got 2 rods, so it's fine to discard 1. We already have 2 in play anyways. So we get to. Oh, they let us win. We got to charge up our second Ursaring. So that's not bad. They are playing Charizard without rare candies. They're using level ball Charmeleon instead. So that's an interesting idea. But they can't evolve fast enough, I suppose. Better to have a lot of Welders and Jirachi in that deck. Jirachi, well, Jirachi is actually tricky because you need scoop up nets, you need switches, you need Birdkeeper is a supporter card, so it's better to have Welders and switch escape rope, scoop up net for your Jirachi, because if you use Birdkeeper you can't use Welder. If you use Birdkeeper you can't use research. But I made a few Charizard decks before this. I didn't use Jirachi. I used Magneton Call Signal and Misty's Favor to get those Leons because, well, I like to go against the flow. I don't like to just follow all of those meta decks. I like to just make something up my own. Sorry, I'm not articulating that very well. Make something up out of my own creativity rather than just follow everyone else. That's not good. You have a good deck. Oh, thank you. You as well. We have no supporter cards again. Oh, we're gonna have to rely on Sonia for the Dean the next turn. No evolution cards, no supporter cards. Marnie is annoying because it only lets you draw 5. And at the beginning of the game, you need to draw like a lot. Well, actually, you just need to draw the right ones, but my luck is just really bad. Collapse. Falling down. I think the one price Snorlax is has the attack Collapse. Does 120 damage for 3 energy costs. So falling down, kind of the same lettering. I mean the same name for it, but it does 170 for 4 energy. So they're playing a really weird deck. Another weird deck again, not a meta deck. Thank goodness. I'm actually sick of all of those meta decks. Celezzle, Whippin' Bell, Cherrim Maractus. Cherrim Maractus is the new meta deck. The new annoying meta deck that people keep using. So if you use Maractus with a powerful needle, you can actually use your Cherrim to charge it up, to spam a lot of leaf grass energies onto that Maractus and flip a lot of coins for your powerful needles. But I don't like that deck because I actually built that deck before people started spamming it, and then people started spamming it. So I'm not sure if that's the reason, but probably not, you know, because it's actually a very simple, it's actually very easy to think about it. Oh shit, I just used my Dedenne. I used my Dedenne. I placed 2 Dedennes on my turn. Okay, that was silly. Right, I need to focus on the game and stop talking about stuff. Sorry guys. I should have focused and not placed a second Dedenne on the same turn. That was just stupid. So they are gonna swallow us now. Alright, if they swallow, we get to use our third Dedenne. We actually wasted that bench spot and that Dedenne. So we can't actually prepare our Cherrim now. Our second Cherrim, if they knock our first Cherrim out, then we are gone. If they boss order knock out our Cherrim, we are done for. We get to Sonia for energy, so that's why Sonia is so good. It not only allows you to set up in the early game, if it doesn't show up in the first 2 turns, then you get to use it for energy cards. So it's actually better to have like 4 Sonias in your deck, but I prefer to have just 3, because you won't be using all 3s for setup anyways. That's all, I suppose. Let's just attach that to that one. Whatever. 2 is enough to knock out a Snorlax, unless they heal with Mellow and Lana. Oh, they actually evolve. Oh wow. Did not see that coming. If you're normally if I see a Snorlax V with all of those loose cards, I was actually, oh, they evolve, meaning they remove the effect. Oh dear. Did not see that coming again. Oh dear. Okay, we're gonna have to research now. Let's remove an evolution card. Not sure what we can remove because it's actually not wise to remove too much. But we have 2 rods. Wow, we have 2 rods. No more Teddiursa. 1 more Teddiursa. Okay, good. So let's use research. Energy cards, come on, energy cards. Yes! Oh my gosh, that's a lot of energy cards. But no Teddiursa. Okay, bad. No Teddiursa. Let's just prepare. No, let's just leave those energy cards. Alright, heavy hold. Hope it sticks this time. Please don't switch retreat. If they switch retreat, we are done for. They can't retreat anything but the type null. But that's 1 retreat cost as well. Come on. Mega Lopunny and Jigglypuff. It's Jigglypuff. I thought when I was young, I thought it was Jinglypuff. Like jingle bells, jingly. Oh dear, they just retreated. Darn it. Come on. Evolve and retreat to remove the effect, and we are done. We need our 3rd Ursaring. Oh man. That's ridiculous. Oh, they passed the turn. That's silly. That's really silly. They might boss order us, so it's better to just... I should have gotten both basic Pokemons, because it's just a waste to just draw 1 with your Sonia. But as I was saying, I should charge it now, just in case they knock out my Cherim the next turn. So heavy hold, they're gonna retreat and knock me out. but I'm gonna have my bear, my Ursaring Psychic ready, sorry, Urshifu Psychic ready, Teddy Bear ready to knock out the VMAX. Unless they heal again with Pokemon Center Lady, Mellow and Lana. Oh, thank goodness. This deck is actually really really weak because it does 120, which is very little damage. You need 3 or 4 hits for a VMAX knockout. Same for tag team because they could heal. That's only 2 hits because it's a low HP tag team. It's only 240 HP. So we're gonna Bruno here because we're actually gonna get a Cherim with that. Because we have not many cards left in our deck, so we don't need to worry about wasting a supporter card anymore. We do need energy retrieval though. We need energy. We need 1 energy and an Ursaring. So we better be drawing those cards with our Bruno. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. Preparing the Cherim is good because they could knock out a Cherrim, and we need to rod now. We have a research, which is not good because that ends the game. Because we don't have any more cards in our deck if we use a research. We have a Cherim in our hand, so don't need to worry about Cherim. 2 energy cards. That's scary. Let's just heavy hold. We're gonna draw more. Hopefully we draw a Marnie. We shouldn't have discarded that Marnie. But we needed to get out the right card, so maybe discarding that Marnie was all it took. Oh, we drew energy cards, so that's fine. If we drew energy cards, we can retreat, we can charge up our last Ursaring. If they don't boss order knock out our Teddy Ursa. They can't knock it out. They can't knock out our active Ursaring now because they don't have enough energy, but they can still use Puffy Smasher. What does Puffy Smasher do? Sleep. Causes to go to sleep. Oh dear, that's bad. Bad. And it does 60 more damage. We are done. Oh no, we are done. We have to wait for our... Yeah. I really want to check something though. Let's just check our deck. How many energy cards? Okay, we actually have a rod still. That's good. That's really good. Okay, that means I'm gonna do that just to bait them. If they knock out Cherim or Cherim, they're probably gonna knock out either Cherim or Ursaring. Probably gonna knock out the Ursaring. So if they knock out Ursaring, we're gonna prepare our Teddy Ursa for our last Ursaring because it does 120. They're gonna charge up Mawile. Okay, that's not good. Mawile does 30 damage for... Okay. So how many is that? 130. Mawile does 130, not enough to kill our Ursaring. Thank goodness. Whew. Mawile. Mawile is actually scary. So let's just pass the turn. I'm gonna put a decoy here. Because if they boss order and knock out our Teddy Ursa, we're done. If they don't boss order, then we win the game because they can't knock us out with their Wily Bite. The Wicked Wilds. Wily Bite. Okay, we win the game, thank goodness. Here that was close. Now we just need to evolve and get out our energy. Oh, that's good. Because we could have gotten a rod. We have a rod and 2 energies in our deck. So we got 4 here. Wily Bite, if they have a choice band, they win the game. If they don't, then we actually won the game. Because it's a tag team. We drew 3 prize cards. So Heavy Hole actually knocks it out for 3 prize cards. Oh, that's close. They should have retreated just now. When they switched their Snorlax, to the bench spot, they should have retreated with their Bunny, their Lopunny Jigglypuff tag team. If they switch retreat, they can use Snorlax VMAX to knock us out, and then we're down to 2 Ursarings left. Sorry, we're down to 1 Ursaring left, and then they just need to knock it out with their Puffy Smasher, with their, what do you call that? They just need to cause us to sleep and knock it out with the Jumping Balloon. But obviously, if they do that, the coin flip might be tails or might be heads or something. You never know. So it's kind of like a parallel dimension. You never know. But they should have retreated though. If they switch retreat, they can use Snorlax VMAX, and that actually saves them another turn. So that is all for our Flower of Destiny deck, featuring the Cherrim card from Battle Styles, with Spring Bloom allowing you to freely attach grass energy from your hand to any one of your Pokemon that does not have a rule box on it as often as you like. So that's free energies, but you only get to attach to non-GX, non-Vs, and non-Prism Star Pokemons, non-EXs as well if you are playing an expanded deck. And we're using our Ursaring. Ursaring has the 4 energy attack cost, Heavy Hold, allowing you to do 120 damage. Not a lot, but sometimes it's enough. If they don't heal their Pokemons, it's enough to for a 3-hit knockout of a VMAX, 2-hit knockout of a low GX Pokemon, and 1-hit knockout of a 1 prize card. So the defending Pokemon can't attack during your opponent's next turn. Obviously, if you knock them out, they can still attack if they put out a new attacking Pokemon. If they put a decoy Pokemon, then we have our boss's order to drag out any Pokemon that they are charging up, that they are preparing to attack on their next turn. We get to boss order and hold that Pokemon. So if they don't have enough switches in hand, if they don't retreat in time, at the right time, then they can't attack. They are forced to pass the turn. So that is what we want them to do. We want them to have no choice but to pass a turn without attacking, because they can't do anything. So bad thing about Ursaring is that it's 4 energy retreat cost, meaning if it gets affected by special condition, if it goes to sleep, just like you saw just now, if it's paralyzed, poisoned, confused, burned, if you want to heal it from special conditions, mainly paralyze, sleep, and confusion. If you want to heal it from those special conditions, you're gonna have to retreat it, which is impossible because it's 3 energy retreat cost. You're gonna have to recharge it with 3 energies, and you're gonna have to, put it back into the active spot to be able to attack again on the same turn. So double switches is essentially impossible for this deck because we only have Bird Keepers for our switches. But Bird Keeper allows you to not only switch, it allows you to draw cards as well. So Bird Keeper might be a life-saving card at the right time when it shows up at the right time, but we are not relying too much on it because even though it's 3 energies that we discard, we still get to retrieve them, we still get to rot them back. So it's not really that bad a deal for a retreat. So sometimes we may need to retreat because the game demands it, because we are confused and we have to hold them on the next turn. Otherwise, if we pass the turn while it's confused, if we pass the turn, then it would be bad for us. So it's actually better to retreat if you're confused and then use a new Ursaring to do a heavy hold and then save up those energies later, because we can save those energies with our rod and our and our energy retrieval. So we don't need to worry too much about it, and we have 17 energies to spare in our deck. So that is a lot but we do have 4 energies though. We do need 4 energy to charge it up. So actually that's not really a lot. we can only charge up 3 Ursarings, and if they discard them with Crushing Hammer, or if they affected with poison, affected with special condition forcing us to retreat, then we're gonna have to waste too many energy cards, and rods will essentially be destroyed, because if we have enough energy to charge up only 3 Ursarings, rod and energy retrieval actually allows us an extra Ursaring, because that gives us more energies. But if they use Crushing Hammer and confuse us and force us to retreat, then we essentially can charge up to 3 Ursarings only, and that is not good. But obviously Ursaring, although it gets knocked out easily because it's only 140 HP and it's a 1 price card, it does, it does hold your opponent. It restricts them from attacking. So they are not going to be able to knock it out that easily. It's going to be able to stay in play for at least 1 or 2 turns. If the first one doesn't stay in play for 2 turns, then your next Ursaring is very likely to stay in play for 1 or 2 or even 3 turns, because you're going to be able to hold them, and they're not going to be able to have enough switch cards. They're not going to be able to retreat enough times to attack on the same turn, to remove the effect and attack on the same turn, because we are going to be able to hold them, boss order the right cards, and restrict the right cards as well. So that's essentially the trick of this deck. We also have Stealthy Hood to protect, as I said, protect ourselves from Arctozolt, Curse Levy, the main destroyer of this deck, because Cherrim allows you to attach energy from your hand, and Arctozolt puts damage counter if you attach energy from your hand onto that Pokemon. So Arctozolt is a crusher, is a Spring Bloom crusher. It's also a Hydreigon crusher, Hydreigon attached from your hand as well. That ability attaches dark energy from your hand. So Stealthy Hood protects your Pokemon from any abilities. So it's all abilities of your opponent's Pokemon has no effect on on any of your Pokemon that has Stealthy Hood attached to it. So that's very, very important. It's a very, very strong card. It's Unbroken Bond, so it's not going to be kicked out the standard format anytime soon. I hope not. Because it's still Sun and Moon though. Unbroken Bonds is still Sun and Moon. So that's all for this deck. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. If you find our videos interesting, go to our playlist, check out more videos there, and please check the description as well for any more info on PTCGO. We have a new Patreon site, so if you want to support us, go ahead, make some donations. We will really appreciate those donations. And that's all for this video. Please keep on playing, keep having fun with this game. Don't sweat the small losses. If you find it difficult to make a deck, try to mesh the theme deck. Try to get the right cards from the theme deck. So if you go to the shop here, you can actually purchase theme decks with your coin. Most of you already know that, obviously. So 500 coins for a theme deck, and the theme decks actually gets you a lot of locked cards. So you can't trade them. You can't trade those cards you bought from the shop. But you can add them to your collection, meaning you can build better decks from them. So if you buy the theme decks, you get your BDs, you get your Dan, you get a lot of good cards. Nessa is a very strong supporter card, and it's in the theme deck. You get to purchase them, so you don't have to trade certain cards. So for example, Max Elixir from the expanded format is in the theme deck. So let me just show Max Elixir real quick. Right, it's in XY Breakpoint. So there you go, Max Elixir. You only get one though, so you gotta purchase 4 theme decks to be able to get Max Elixir, 4 Max Elixirs to make a good expanded deck. Because if you have 4 Max Elixirs in your expanded deck, it's a really strong deck. Max Elixir in any decks will make it really, really strong, because you get to look at the top 6 card of your deck, attach a basic energy card you find there to a basic Pokemon on your bench. Obviously it's a huge restriction, but it's an item card, and you look at the top 6 card of your deck. That is a lot. So that means you get to attach an extra energy to your bench Pokemon, but it's only a basic energy card that you get to attach, and it's only a basic Pokemon that you get to attach on your bench. That is a huge restriction. So it's an item card though. That means you get to spam a lot of Max Elixirs on one turn, effectively allowing you to attack on the second turn or even the first turn. If you go second, you can attack with your Zoroark Greninja. A lot of people use Zoroark Greninja, Battle Compressor, Dark Patch, Darkrai GX, and Max Elixirs, and they can essentially attack with their Zorok Greninja, Tag Team GX, doing a huge amount of damage with 2 energy attack costs. So they only need to charge it with Max Elixir. They don't need to wait for their second turn. If they go second, they can attack right off the bat, dealing a huge amount of damage. So that's all. I don't want to go on too long. So you can also purchase, get a lot of good cards in a standard format as well. Let's just show the Charizard deck real quick. So we have Leons, obviously, and we have Evolution Incense. Evolution Incense is a strong card. You get to summon any evolution card into your hand. We obviously don't have the battle styles. I'm not sure what happened to battle styles. We don't have theme decks for battle styles. And Turbo Patch is also allowed in standard format. Is also released in the theme deck. So that means you get to purchase them. You get to purchase and get your Bird Keepers. You get to get your what do you get in Catchers. Catcher can be a good card. Metal Sorcerer as well. Catcher can be a good card because it's an item and you get to boss order with an item. But obviously you have to flip a coin for it, so it's not really that good. You get Poke Kid as well. Might be a good card, but you know, I actually prefer Evolution Incense and Quick Ball than a Poke Kid. Pokemon Communication is actually stronger than Poke Kid as well because it's an item card, but they can obviously Frozen Lock, Fossil Bind, or even use a Paralyzing Bolt on you. So that's not good if they use that and hold your item cards. So that's all. Have fun with the game. Explore more uncharted territories because that is what makes this game so fun. If you come up with your own decks and if you make a nice combo and find the right supporting cards that make it even much stronger, even more solid and foolproof, bulletproof, then that would be really impressive, and people would, obviously people would steal your ideas. So it's actually good to block, not block them, but block the deck list sharing. If you're a competitive person, if you're a competitive player, it's important to block the deck list sharing. So you can do that by going to the settings. There you go, deck list sharing, do not share with everyone, share in friend battle matches. You can select it. I don't like to share it because I only share in my videos. Obviously I don't like to share my real I'm sharing my real one in my videos obviously, but I don't like to share in real battles because then my opponent will be able to know all of my deck list ideas and they can actually steal it and put it in their videos before I do. I don't want that to happen. So so that's why I block my deck list. So that's all. Have a nice day and we'll see you in the next episode. Rapid Strike, Single Strike style. Bye guys.